Hi, fourth grade. Welcome to Monday Math. Today we're going to start a new unit. We're going to skip some pages and we're going to start metric measurement. Now, the metric system is used all around the world. It's used in fields of study like science, medicine, and in fact, the English system, or the customary units, which we talked about, feet, inches, pounds, ounces, that system of measurement is only used in 3 countries. Can you guess what they are? Well, the United States is one of them, Myanmar is the other, and Liberia. So those are the only 3 countries in the whole world that use what we call customary units or the English system. Everyone else in the world uses the metric system. So we're going to talk about metric measurement. I want you now to turn in your books to page 775. Today we're going to talk about metric units of length. So remember when we studied customary units of length, that was inches, feet, yards. But metric units, it says length is the measurement of a line between 2 points. Millimeter, centimeter, meter, and kilometer are units that are part of the metric system of measurement for length. So let's take a look here. It says a millimeter is about as thick as 6 sheets of notebook paper. I really liked the video you watched, and it said that a millimeter was really the width of a dime. I thought I had a dime here, and I can't find it, so you just take a dime, look at it, the width, how thick it is, not the length of it, but how thick it is, and that's about a millimeter, so it's a very small measurement. A centimeter is about the length of a ladybug. A meter is about the height of a chair. Now, the way to remember a meter is it's about the same as a yard. So you can even write the word yard in your book there. By the way, whenever I write something in my book, you should be writing it in your book. So always come with a pencil and your book. So about the height of a chair, but it's about the length of a yard. It's actually a little bit longer than a yard. And then a kilometer or a kilometer, depends on how you say it, is about 6 city blocks. Some people say 12 city blocks. Anyway, a kilometer is the distance is what you use to measure large distances. So I just want to point out the abbreviations: millimeter, mm, centimeter, cm, meter, m, kilometer, km. So let's take a look. Today in your lessons, you're going to be deciding, you're either going to be measuring something or you will be deciding what units you could use to measure it. Now, I wrote that you will need a ruler to do these exercises. If you don't have a ruler, I sent something that you can print. I actually have an ancient ruler. Take a look at this. This was actually my husband's when he moved from Michigan 30 years ago. So if you look at this, the ruler, you need one. This one has inches on one side, but on the other side, do you see how it's smaller units of measurement? The units are smaller, and these are called centimeters. And on a ruler, most of the ones you have will have about 33 centimeters on them. So if we're going to measure something, you get your ruler, and it says, Doug is growing carrots in his garden. He pulled out a carrot for lunch. Measure the carrot to the nearest centimeter. Now you measure just like we did with inches. You line it up to the 0. You go to see how far it is. It's the closest to the 12. The carrot is closer to the 12 centimeter mark than the 11 centimeter mark. So the carrot is almost 12 centimeters long. If I were going to use my ruler to measure this, you see I don't start at the end. I start at the 0. Now mine doesn't have a 0, yours might. And then you measure it. Now, what I realize now is this is an actual caret, but the centimeter ruler is not an actual centimeter ruler. So if you took your centimeter ruler, the real one, to measure this picture of the caret, well, the picture of the caret is actually 7 centimeters. Do you see that? But they're talking about a real caret, and so they have a different way of measuring that. All right, let's take a look now. We're now on page 776. Before measuring the length of an object, always estimate the length to decide which unit of measurement is best to use. So you're going to choose the best estimate for the length of a student's desk. Now it's interesting, here they tell you 10 millimeters is 1 centimeter. So you can see a millimeter is very, very small. If you look at my ruler here, here's a centimeter right there. And then each of these little lines is a millimeter. So 1 centimeter is 10 millimeters. You see how small they are. So now let's go back to our problem. What would be the best estimate for the length of a student's desk? Well, think for a minute. 5 centimeters, 5 millimeters, 50 centimeters, 50 millimeters. Well, now think for a minute. Let's take a look at our ruler. So here is 5 centimeters. Would that be the length of a desk? No. Here's 5 millimeters. So that wouldn't be it either. Well, what about 50 centimeters? Well, let's take a look. That would be about the length of this ruler. So this would be, let's measure from the end of my blackboard here. So from here to here would be 33. Put a little mark there. I bring my ruler down here. I need about 20 more. We're estimating, remember. So here's 20. So look, from the edge of my board to where my pencil is, would that be about the length of a desk? Well, yes, it would. And so your answer is going to be 50 centimeters. A desk has to be long enough to do work on, so centimeters are a better estimate than millimeters. Since 5 centimeters, 5 millimeters, and 50 millimeters are all too small, the answer is 50 centimeters. I'm going to put that little abbreviation there, or choice C, right? All right, now let's take a look at the practice. You're going to be doing a lot of these problems on your own. Estimate the length of the grasshopper, then measure to the nearest centimeter. So in this, you're actually going to measure it and with your centimeter ruler, not like that carrot where they had a picture. So let's take a look now. Guess how many centimeters? And then we're going to measure it. So it looks like, if you look at it, it's about 2.5. You see how it's between the 2 and the 3? 2.5 centimeters. So right here, I'm going to write 2.5 centimeters. Okay? Now this one's a different kind of question. It says, choose the best estimate for the length of the kayak. So this isn't, you're not going to measure this actual kayak, you see, because they don't have the little lines here. They want you to picture a real kayak. What would be the best estimate? Well, would it be 6 centimeters? Well, take a look at your centimeter ruler. Could anybody fit in a kayak that was 6 centimeters? I don't think so. How about 2 meters? Well, that would be about 2 yards. So picture 2 yards. That sounds like a pretty good guess. 6 meters? Well, that would be like 6 yards. That's a really long kayak. And then 2 kilometers, well, that's about as far as it is from ALA up to Target. So that would be way too big for a kayak. So your best guess is 2 meters. So what you're going to do now is you're going to do page 777. You're going to measure these objects with your centimeter ruler. You are going to guess what would be the best estimate for each length, the cornstalk, and then the runway. So what I want to do right now is we're going to look at page 778 for a couple of minutes. And we'll do this one together, and then you're going to do the next 2 pages on your own. So let's just take a look. A giraffe at the zoo is 5 meters tall. Name something else that is about 5 meters tall. Can you think of something? Write it down. Stop the video if you need to. Write it down. So I would say that the distance from the sidewalk to my 2nd-story window is about 5 meters tall. What did you put? Well, we may talk about that next week a little bit. Next week, I'll be teaching math on Zoom, and we'll have the chance to answer some questions. Look at number 10. Is the distance from Boston, Massachusetts to Phoenix, Arizona about 4,000 centimeters or 4,000 kilometers? Well, remember, centimeters are just these little bits here. So 4,000 centimeters wouldn't be that far. So what would be the better answer? Well, if you said kilometers, that is correct. Remember, kilometers are similar to miles. We use them to measure large distance. I want to jump down to here. You're going to answer this on your own. It says, number 12, find 3 things in the classroom that are longer than 10 centimeters and smaller than 100 centimeters. You're going to find these things in your house. It needs to be longer than 10 centimeters, do you see? But smaller than 100 centimeters, which would be about 3 of our rulers. So I want you to look around your house and find 3 things like that. Then you're going to do page 779 and 780, and you are going to send those to me on Class Dojo. All right, do your best. Message me if you have any questions. Have a great day, and God bless you.